right.
The Voice 17104.com. This is Zanetta Wingfield, and you're listening to The Voice 17104.com. The Voice 17104.com.
Okay, now. Here we go. It's the show, y'all. It's the show. And you know that beat. That's Dougie Fresh. It's the show. And when you hear that beat, I want you to think of Kenny's Corner. Yeah. It's not a party. It's just a corner. All right. What's up, Cousin Craig? What's up, Mario Jamario? We at Kenny's Corner. Yes. Like I say, I cannot control what happens on the corners of New York, D.C., Baltimore, Pittsburgh. But I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. All right, now we got a wonderful show lined up for you today. But first, I'd like to just start off by saying this weekend was a weekend of family. I had an awesome time with my family in North Carolina. It was just wonderful. Our family got along. We laughed. We played games. My cousin Marcus, I'm not gonna call his nickname. He ran from me all weekend on the spades table. Then when they finally played spades, they snuck off. They snuck off in a secret room and played spades without me. Oh man, it was terrible. They didn't want to face me. Oh man, then we played that cornhole game and they didn't want to deal with me or nothing. Everybody afraid to play with the kid up north, you know. But we had a wonderful time with my family. I missed some of them. My cousin Mario, I missed him. Love him dearly. But we had a great time. Mario, don't do that. I'm doing it, cuz I got the microphone. I'm doing it. But family is important. 4th of July weekend is coming up. I hope everybody have a wonderful 4th. If you have something planned, be with your family, enjoy them, honor them, cherish them. My cousin Pearl laid out her house, plenty of food. Oh my goodness, it was beautiful. And so I just wanted to publicly say that I love my family in Charlotte, North Carolina. I love you. And but enough of that. Did y'all hear about R. Kelly? Boy, they gave R. Kelly 30 years. Woo! 30 years. And then he still got 2 more sentencing. But what are they going to do to him? What is 2 more going to do to him? What are they going to do? 30 more apiece? I mean, sometimes it's an overkill, you know. Sometimes I just think it's an overkill. He's already, 53 years old? What are you going to get out of 83? He ain't going to bother nobody. 83, his songs ain't going to sing nobody back into his house, you know. Give me the cookie. Give me the cookie. Oh, I believe R. Kelly alone. Yes, Mark, he deserves it. He deserves it because you're right, he does. I mean, trafficking. I mean, he did it all. I mean, come on. I mean, it was just too much. He's just too much. How old, cuz? 55? Oh, man, he's a little younger than me. Oh, he gonna 55. 85 years old when he comes out of jail? 85. Oh, that's what they're gonna be saying to him in jail. Hey, R. Kelly, give me the cookie. Give me the cookie. What up, nephew? Got my nephew Parker Wilson on there. He's gonna be the family genius. whether he know it or not. He's my genius. He's my genius, counting on my nephew. But we got a great show. You know, we always have fillers, but we got two major hubs. Like I always say in the mall, you always have two major hubs in the mall, and then you have little filler stores. But our two major stories of the day. One is our guest. Our guest is Karen Kunick. Am I saying it right, Karen?
Kunick.
Kunick. Karen Kunick.
Kenny, you can call me whatever you want.
All right. That's my girl. Hey, Cease. That's my girl. But Karen is an extraordinary woman. An extraordinary woman. If anybody got the chance to read the advertisement before the show, she is a mother. She is a wife. She has 6 children. She has finished law school and is studying for the board and in pursuit of being a comedian. I don't know if you know what that means. Like most comedians, take a menial job, you know, waitress, waiter, state job, 9 to 5, something like that, to keep the career going until they make it big in comedy. But Karen has chose to pick a whole career. I mean, she has taken 2 different career paths. You should never give up on anything that you're trying to do. Anything. Great encouragement, great hope. I hope as this show progresses along that you would call in and have questions for her, how difficult the law school was, studying for the bar, how is it having 6 kids and still trying to juggle this. She would love to hear from you, answer these questions. The call-in number is 717-889-7181. That is 717-889-7181. Karen, welcome.
Thank you, Kenny. Thank you for having me.
Oh man, this is my pleasure. My pleasure. You've been a good friend since I met you, and I appreciate your friendship. How many kids did you have before you decided I want to be in law school?
Oh, I had all my kids. I was done having kids. My youngest was going to kindergarten, and that's when I started thinking about what I wanted to do when I grew up.
What I wanted to do when I grew up.
And my husband had made a joke about, well, now that the youngest will be in school all the time, you'll have time to clean the house. And that's dumb.
That's dumb.
God, Jesus, we've been married a long time for you to think that that's going to happen. So I knew I wanted to go back. Before I had kids, I had gotten a master's in mental health, and I actually did in-home counseling with adjudicated youth. So I had a whole nother career before that. And then we started having children fairly quickly and early. And like everything I do, I got a little overzealous, and we ended up with 6 of them. So.
But it never stopped you. It never stopped you from going forward.
No, but when I thought about going back to counseling, because when I was working, we were in South Carolina, and we had since moved a few times, and now we're in Pennsylvania. I would have had to go back and get licensed in Pennsylvania, which would have meant another master's. So I just thought I had to think about whether I wanted to do that. I did a little cost benefit analysis, and law school was something I had always considered. I just didn't know if I was going to be able to do it. I always doubted my my reading ability, and there's a ton of reading that goes along with law school. I had happened to have joined a book club about a year before I applied to law school, and I was a bunch of moms, and some of them had jobs, some of them were stay-at-home moms, but every month we would read a book, and they were long books. And after a few months, I realized I was one of the few women that was finishing every book.
Yeah.
And I start to question whether maybe I was a better reader than I gave myself credit for.
Right. So in this book club, you found out that you, like you said, were a better reader than you were. And
I don't think I was ever
not a bad reader, but you had a better interest than you thought you had.
Yeah, and I felt like I was maybe not giving myself enough credit.
Yeah.
So then I thought about what I could do as far as schooling and what I wanted to do. And when I worked with Adjudicate Youth, I spent a lot of time in court, and I enjoyed it. I really loved going to court. I loved the environment. I just liked the fast pace of it. And I thought, well, I could work with that type of population in a different manner, in a different way, and get to have that experience. So I brought it up to my husband, who I thought for sure would be like, no, this is a dumb idea, and talk me out of it. Now that's what I thought was going to happen. And I was waiting for him to do it and be my saving grace. And he was like, well, find out how much it costs.
There you go. But but let's back up a little bit. You said something that sometimes we just find out, we doubt ourselves. And so many times, and in America, I want you to understand that sometimes we can doubt ourselves, and we can doubt ourselves right out of a career. We can doubt ourselves right out of a job. We can doubt ourselves right out of a relationship. We can doubt ourselves out of so much. Doubt is the killer of so many things. Relationships, jobs, family, we doubt. And sometimes we have to push through that doubt to get to where we're going. And at this moment, Karen is a great example of pushing through doubt. Everything is not going to be peachy keen. Everything is not going to be perfect. Even though she has support, even support is not going to be perfect. Even support will have doubt. But as they push through and you push through, it all comes together. There always are going to be challenging times. And so I thank Karen for being vulnerable and coming on the show. But I really want people to start calling in and to encourage her and answer different questions. And we're going to keep talking to her about this. 717-889-7181. 889-7181. Karen, when it comes to comedy, when did that come into play?
Okay, so I always wanted to do comedy.
Wow.
But I think having the opportunity, having the time, when I was younger, I just didn't even know where to find it. I lived in somewhat rural Pennsylvania. I wouldn't even know where to look. And it's not like now where you can just Google open mic and find places and show up there.
Right.
I feel like it's so much easier now.
Yes.
So I wanted to do it, but I do safe things. You probably don't think I do safe things, but I make calculated decisions that I feel are safe and that have a future. So, at 20, I was definitely not going to tell my parents I was quitting school to go do comedy, and they would have killed me. They would have murdered me. They would have not gone well.
Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote. Murder, she wrote.
I went to college. I got my degree. I went to grad school. I got my master's. I do kind of regret I got my master's right outside of DC. It would have been an amazing opportunity
to do comedy right
there, but it wasn't even on the radar. And I was working full time and going to school full time. It just wouldn't have happened.
That's amazing, because you're saying you're going to comedy full time and going to school full time, but then you waited till you got married full time, had 6 kids full time, and then go to law school full time.
Yeah, because he's watching kids.
And then, oh my goodness, Karen, this is amazing, Karen. Oh my goodness. Well, so if you became or when, because you're already a lawyer, now you have the bar to study for, which takes up so much time. So much time. When you pass the bar and you get a job and they start you out at 110.
That's not the type of lie, you Kenny.
Huh? That's not what they're gonna start you out at?
No, God, no.
Lower?
Yeah, much lower.
40? 30? 50?
Don't worry about it.
Look, I want to know, because you know, every now and then I might need a couple of dollars. My brother might need a couple of dollars.
I would live comfortably, but I definitely won't make what my husband makes.
Right. Well, we know he makes a lot of money.
Well, he sells groceries and people need to eat. So.
Well, now hold on, y'all. I don't want y'all to laugh at that. He don't sell groceries.
Yeah.
He ain't the guy at the register. He ain't the guy at the register selling the He ain't the guy at the meat department selling you the prime rib. That's not him. He actually sells.
He works in the office. But when we were dating, he owned a snow cone trailer that he took to fairs and ridiculous.
Yeah, we ain't talking about that. We talking about money he make now right now.
I know, but I took him to a work event. The first thing I took him to, and I introduced him to people I worked with, and they were all these snooty doctors. And the one doctor was like, "So Jason, what do you do?" And my husband goes, "I sell snow cones."
I sell snow cones.
I about one. And this doctor looked at me like, "Little girl, you need to go get yourself a guy with a real job.
A real job.
Snow cones.
Go get you a real man." One of our viewers says, have you developed any jokes from your law school experience?
Oh, yeah. I do want to talk about, and this really happened. We had a lady stand up in jury duty, or for jury selection, and they asked me, "Is there anything you need to tell us?" And the lady stood up and she said, "Your Honor, I know you're not going to want to hear this, but I'm racist, and I'm also a Christian, and I can't judge people." And the whole courtroom was just like, oh my God. Like, first of all, those things don't go together. And like, second of all, we know she believes in white Jesus. Right. Also, we made her stay all day. We weren't going to pick her, but she wasn't going home.
But she wasn't going home.
So don't say that.
So don't say that in court, y'all. Oh my goodness. That's too funny. That is too funny. Don Brown says that depends on what attorney position you start out with. Yes,
it does. But that's, like I told Kenny, that's not the type of law I want to do. I was working in prosecution. I would like to stay with criminal law. I go back and forth about doing public defender work.
Okay.
But either prosecution and public defense, they don't make a ton of money, but you get a ton of experience. And when you're starting off, that's better than anything.
So if somebody bumps into my car and I smack them, I can call you.
If you get arrested and I'm a defense attorney,
I can call you.
Yeah. Well, if I'm working defense, if I'm prosecutor, don't call me.
No, I'm not gonna call you. But you can get me off, right?
No. Listen, people really think that, like, a good lawyer can get anyone off. And that is not always true.
Hold
I
on.
can help you get the best outcome.
Listen. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. And I'm going to tell you why I don't believe that. Because I have watched a ton of Matlock. And Matlock has got people off of murder cases in 1 hour.
Well, yes. And that's, I mean, TV is always real. You're going to tell me you watch NCIS too, or Law and Order.
Barbara says also, with 6 children, have they been incorporated in your routine?
Oh yeah, and they love it. They like, so some of my kids will be like, "Mommy, can you talk about this tonight? Can you? Are you going to talk about me?" I'm like, "Oh God, are you going to talk about me with your therapist in a few years?" That's what I want to say. We do joke that like we say they have a college fund, but it's really a therapy fund.
It's really a therapy fund. It's really therapy fund. 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. It is such a joy to have Karen on this show. But we have about 40 minutes or so. And this next subject, we're going to talk about Roe versus Wade. Now,
it's going to kill the mood.
Yeah. Listen, I want these phones to ring. 717-889-7181 about this Roe versus Wade. What are the lasting effects of this decision? There are a lot of us who have children, female children. What does this do medically, socially? What's next? Who's next? How is this going to affect us? What pressure is it going to put on us medically? This is not the end. Tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg. If they're going to overturn this, what else are they going to overturn? They're already talking, there's some talk about this Brown versus education. This is not the time to be silent. I need you all to call in 717-889-7181 because I need to hear from the people of America of what is going on. Because medically, they say you can't get an abortion. Well, we're going to go back to the back alley treatments. The hangers. Yeah. The drinking of bleach. Yeah. Yeah. Douching with bleach. They try anything. They try anything. Yeah. You know they're making the day after pill more expensive now? They are doing everything they can. This is getting ready to get just a little more difficult. What's next? What do you think is next, Karen?
The very concerning issue for me is that the decision for Roe and the decision that went with that were built on privacy rights. And if they start to decide that those privacy rights aren't really rights, this could be a huge issue. One of the things that people really got irritated about was their medical privacy during COVID. And I think the whole fact that the abortion decision was based on medical privacy and this being a decision between your doctor, between your significant other, and that was a privacy right. If you say that we don't have those privacy rights, you're opening up a can of worms that I don't think people understand are going to come after them. And I am by no means pro-abortion, but I do think that people deserve the privacy to make very intimate decisions with their partners, with their support systems, with their families. And it's concerning to me that we could lose those rights. It's concerning to me that one of the big issues with insurance that people have always been worried about is their rates getting jacked up if they find out about certain health conditions or certain other behaviors or certain things they do. And if we lose these rights, this is going to come flying at us. And that's a huge concern. And I think that's the concern that people need to really think about, the where does this go next, like you said.
So the privacy, if they can do this, then they can just take our privacy and just do whatever they want with it.
If we're now saying that the reason that Roe was decided was because we felt that people deserve this right of privacy to make this decision, and then we're saying, no, that's not really a fundamental right anymore. Yeah, that's a huge problem. That's the scary part for me. Then what other things are no longer a private right? What other things aren't protected? That's why it's a big discussion in the trans community, in the homosexual community, that are those now not private things.
Exactly. So now I'm glad you brought up the trans community. So now, can they reverse that? Will they attempt to reverse that? Will they say, listen, forget all that stuff y'all just fought for, the gay marriages, forget all that. We're not going to now honor that. So y'all have been living together, and now you all we're saying you're legally married. Now you're not legally married. Now your health benefits are no longer your health benefits. Because there's no more pronouns. You either are he or she. I mean, all of that gets reversed if they can do this. What will they go after next?
It's also concerning when you take a decision that's been made and you change it. One of the big things with the Supreme Court is called stare decisis, which means that you follow the previous decisions. And when you start saying we don't need to follow the previous decisions, then basically nothing matters that they've already decided. And that's concerning. Generally, when they change a decision like this, it's because something major has happened. In this case, nothing major has happened. And usually what it is they're giving people rights. They've yet to take away a right. So something happens that makes them give a right, like when slavery was overturned, and then they decided that, yeah, we should integrate schools. Those were all giving rights, and they were in reaction to society changing and realizing, that they were wrong.
Well, what do you think about this? Barbara said there should be a secure platform where donations can be received. These donations would be given to women to travel to states that will perform abortions, paying for the procedure, travel, and lodging. We have to counter until we can right the wrong to the governed women, what they can do. Yeah, I mean that is definitely one thing. But my question is this. Now, I don't know about the politics of this, but so they made it a law, but right now, and this is where the election is so important, because now we're in a fight with a Republican and a Democratic governor. So if we get a Republican governor and he is down with this program, how does that work? What is the steps that he has to take? Do we get to vote as the people of Pennsylvania? Does that come to a vote? I don't know. Do you know, Karen? Because I don't know.
So if Pennsylvania wanted to change law, so after November, if we elect one of the Republican candidates, and if the House and the Pennsylvania Senate happen to also be Republican, then they can change it. I mean, that will happen almost immediately.
Without us doing anything.
Yeah, because if the House and the Senate in Pennsylvania, the state House and the state Senate, they decide to change the law, they can, and then the governor will sign it in. And if they're all Republican,
Mhm.
they will make that choice. I guarantee it.
Wow.
They don't need to do a referendum or anything like
So
that.
we have no say about this.
Well, you have a say because you're going to vote in November, and you
Right.
have a say.
That's where we have our say at. Well, I tell you what, my brother's gonna hear about this. Well, he already knows about this. You know my brother. You met my brother, the great Joe Robinson Jr. He is somebody, and he is gonna be all over this. I ain't even tripping because I put a lot of pressure on my brother. He ain't gonna let this happen.
I do want to clarify. The Supreme Court didn't necessarily change the law.
Okay.
They just said that it's the state's choice now. So they didn't make abortion necessarily legal. They just said the states can make it illegal if they want to. And there are states that already had things in motion to make it.
Because as soon as they said it was like 11 states.
They had trigger laws. So
boom.
Yes.
So they didn't. That's
They
funny.
knew this was coming. Generally, they know what cases are being heard by the Supreme Court. They know what a decision can or can't mean. So the states proactively have things in place so that if their side wins, they can move things forward.
So they kind of just like put it out there, but we're not going to really say nothing. We're just going to put it out there.
Yeah.
And then you'll kind of do what y'all want to do with it.
And I mean, right now it's one portion of the country. There's just basically a line right down the middle.
So do you think, let's just say this, you think they'll start doing this with other things? Do you think? See, I never thought it would come to this. Do you think it will ever get the reversal of Brown versus the Board of Education?
I don't think we'll get to Brown because
Okay.
I think
Okay.
that we've gotten a lot more progressive from that. And most people, even if they're subtly racist, they won't come out and actually say that. I mean, they won't. Like, I think people have biases, but I don't think the average person, unlike the juror who will stand up and say she's racist, I don't think the average person would admit to that. However, the thing about pro-choice and pro-life is that there seems to be, and I get why it's a moral issue, but you're taking the moral high ground to say that you're pro-life. And I don't think it's a moral high ground to say that you're racist. I mean, thank God.
Right.
So there's that end of it that doesn't have.
Well, like I was saying in the hallway, as a minister of this great thing we call the gospel. You see how I said minister and then my voice changed. This great thing called the gospel. But first, let's get this number in 717-889-7181. 717-889-7181. Please call in. I believe in pro-life. I do. My biggest problem is that when they take their self-righteous stand and stand on the Bible, but don't want to stand on the Bible on nothing else. You want to stand on the Bible with abortions, but you don't want to stand on the Bible when it comes to reparations to the African American community. How about that? How about doing that? How about making that fair? I just don't understand it. Well, you kind of put my mind at ease about this Brown versus education, but what about anything else? These gay rights, are they in trouble? I mean, are they on the chopping block at this point? Maybe not like on paper
Right.
But is this walking down their street? Because this right wing, this is right up their alley.
I could see why they're concerned, and I could see also how being that being against that group does tend to have that same moral issue.
Right.
And I think people come out and say that. And I honestly, I think the trans people are going to be the most affected first, because I think they're an easy target. I think for whatever reason, it makes people uncomfortable, and people don't like to be uncomfortable. And as soon as they're uncomfortable, they go after that group.
So I don't understand. I don't see why the trans would be more uncomfortable, because because people have built their lives on being married and having marital rights.
Mhm.
I think they would be more nervous than anything, because that changes everything in their life.
Oh, you mean gay people?
Right.
Yeah.
That changes
Well, I just don't know
everything.
if people will go after them as much. I mean, I think they do both have a lot to worry about, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean,
See, this is why voting is important. This is why being aware is important. The term woke is a very loose term. People aren't woke. You know, there's a whole lot of people don't even know there's a whole Roe versus Wade thing going on. You know, they don't even know, what are you talking about? You know, I ask people, you know, say, hey, what do you think about that Roe versus Wade? What's that? And I go, oh, nothing, man, just something I heard. But it just amazes me of what people are tuned into. But everybody that I asked about R. Kelly, everybody knows about R. Kelly.
actually, I didn't know what was going on with R. Kelly as of late. I mean, I knew what he did in the beginning, but I didn't know he was just resentenced, or it was just sentenced again.
You didn't know about Give Me the Cookie?
In my defense, I spend all of my time either going to work or watching bar prep videos.
Oh yeah,
so my
you
life
and,
is quite lame.
You
right
in that
now.
law school. You in that law school thing. You in that law school.
And I probably only know about the Roe decision because of the bar prep Facebook pages I'm in are discussing it, and that's it. And we're all like, damn it, they changed the law.
Well, Keith Sweat. They're all over R. Kelly, but Keith Sweat, everybody know. You know who Keith Sweat is? You don't know who Keith Sweat is. See, this is a cultural divide right here between me and Karen. She don't know about Keith Sweat. You know what I mean? I know Beverly Miller and Lee Hodge know about Keith Sweat. Now, Keith Sweat in his song said, you may be young, but you're ready. Mobilization is important. It is time. Uh-oh, we got a phone call. We got a phone call.
Go ahead, caller. You're on Kenny's Corner. Go ahead with your question and or comment, please.
Listen, can you all hear me okay? Because I can't hear you because I'm away from the phone.
Okay, yes, ma'am. Go right ahead.
Okay. You were talking about for a moment there that what can happen and what not can happen in terms of ground versus bound with the LGBT community. But I really think the key here is through mobilization. Where we are today is the Republicans, they got in line. They followed the former president, whether he was right, wrong, or indifferent, and they stayed the course because at the end result, they wanted to get what they got with Roe versus Wade. They mobilized. And in terms of people complaining or they have opinions within homosexuality, all these things that they mobilized. Look at Mayor Pete now, who is now on the director of transportation in the U.S. government. And what, 50 years ago, that would have been heard of. So we as a community and women, we're going to be mobilizing here. If one monkey does not stop the show. If there is something where, and I think there is out there, but we need to find even more to donate because, you know, it will target a lot of not as well underprivileged or low income women, people of color. And if they don't have the money to go, then they are going to try to say what you say to go back in the days when there was the coat hangers or this. But we can stop that. It doesn't have to do that. You know, we've got to dig deep. We have got to mobilize. We have got to do it and start donating. If something comes up and you know you're going to help somebody, well, then, you know, then you're defeating the people who wanted to have Roe versus Roe. I mean, yeah, you know,
Yeah,
so that
I hear it.
it wouldn't be this way. That's all I'm saying. I hang up and listen to your comments. But if we mobilize and donate, we're going to help someone out there so they're not in the back room getting a hanger stuck up inside of their vagina. Thanks.
Excellent point. You know, wow, that's an excellent point because mobilization is what they have done. So for every action, there is a reaction. So we need to get on the ball. We need to get on the ball.
I don't think a lot of people realize, I don't like to compliment Trump, but one of the things that he did that really helped him in the election was that he had a lot of really small donors, which he didn't need the money. The thing is, when you have people who make a small investment, to them, it was a big investment. You know, if a poor person gives $20, that could be a lot for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's, you know, nothing to a campaign. However, once they make an investment that is valuable to them, they are locked into that campaign. There's very little psychologically you can do to undo their thinking once they've made that investment.
Right.
Even if it isn't a huge investment in your eyes, it was a big investment in
To their eyes. Right.
And I think that was one of the things that once people made that investment, they drank the Kool-Aid and they were done. And,
Wow.
you know, so on that end, psychologically, campaign-wise, that was genius.
So
He
how
probably
do
didn't
we?
come up with it. Had to be somebody else.
Well, Obama did it.
Right.
So how do we do it? How do we mobilize?
Well, we have to find someone charismatic. That would probably help. Obama was charismatic. I always felt that Bill Clinton was charismatic.
It was, or me.
There you go, Kenny.
I can mobilize the people. I can do it. I can get in my wheelchair. I can mobilize America.
Because I think there is something about having a charismatic figurehead that gets people engaged. And I don't know if either party has had one lately.
So right, either. So, but now this, but I believe what Barbara's talking about is something totally different.
She's saying we need to give money and start
Right.
a movement to get women help.
It was almost like the boycott. When they boycotted the buses, the Black people and the poor people still needed to get to work.
Mm-hmm.
So then they started driving people to work. Everybody who had a car would go by and get people and take them to work. So we need to get a fund if that goes down that way.
Well, I know that several large corporations have made a commitment to their female employees that they would, like Dick's, Target, I don't want to say wrong names, but I'm pretty sure these are some of them, Starbucks, they've all come out and said they will pay for female employees if they need to, you know, go to Canada or Mexico.
Okay, that's what we're talking about, right?
Make that happen. The concern is that some of the states that they're aiding and helping people get to where they need to go are crime too.
So now, Diane Small says, my thing with Roe versus Wade is that the governments are actually targeting women's rights. And next, women may be getting stoned to death if they doesn't submit. No rights. Now, I know she is being, but You take away a right, you take away a right.
Right.
Period. You know what I mean? When you have reduced them to a third, second-class citizen, what do they become? You know, what do they become? Barb said Netflix made a commitment as well. So people are starting to mobilize. People are starting to fight back. So this is giving me hope. This is giving me joy right now. I'm so excited that the world says this is not right. And I was afraid that the world was on the side of the powers that are in charge right now. So this is giving me some sense of hope, but we can still do our part. We can still do our part. If it gets to that, we can still do our part. We can still start a fund.
I know one of the things I keep seeing on Facebook is friends posting, you know, hey friends, if any of you need to go camping for a weekend and you need a ride to go camping, just give me a call and I will take you camping. We will never discuss this camping trip ever.
We can go camping. Yeah. I don't know where to go camping at though, but we can go camping out there. But your friends know where to go. You know, I've heard people even say they're as serious as I'll leave Pennsylvania. I mean, that's a drastic, but I get their point.
Right.
I get their point. It is that serious. It is that serious. Our women are in trouble. Now, men, as a race, we have let our women down. We have not protected our women. It's time. It's time to stand up. It's time to stand up for our women. They love the camping, yes. She boys that love the camping, yeah. It's time to stand up for our women. Men, if you hear this conversation out and about in the coffee shop going the other way, stand up. Stand up. Let's start making people ashamed of having this conversation in public. Let's start making them ashamed.
I mean, and that being said, I would happily help a woman who wanted to have a baby have their baby too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it can go both ways. And I think that part of the problem is we're implementing a lot of these laws without putting the infrastructure in that's needed when we start having this influx of pregnancies and this influx of babies. And it's, I mean, let's face it, it's going to be poor, lower class babies because rich white women, my people, are going to go somewhere and get it done. And
yes.
that's all that comes down to.
Yes.
And we don't have enough to take care of what we have already. So there's that end of it.
You know, Karen, I love how you phrase that, you know, rich white people, my people. No, because it's real.
I know who I am.
Exactly. And you know who you are. Monique said, I believe that God and his guardian angels are shaking their heads at the American government. Yeah. Thank you, Kevin. Habit from birth. But I believe that there's something we can do. I don't know if it be a coalition of some sort, but we're going to have to stand up and help our women. Because the answer is just not, well, quit having sex. Because there is no responsibility that falls on the man.
Well, and not every abortion is a necessarily unwanted pregnancy. There's a lot of other situations that occur. A lot of women who very much want a baby and for multiple reasons end up not being able to carry that baby to term.
Yes.
And it's concerning that those women will also be affected by this because a lot of the states are not including exceptions for health issues, for issues with the baby, whatever. that's concerning.
So,
too.
so if the woman is in danger of dying, they'll make her go through it.
Depending on the state and the law, yeah. And I know for a fact one of the candidates for governor in Pennsylvania has right on his commercial that he doesn't believe in any exceptions. And that's scary. If you're
That's
pro-life
scary.
and you want people to live, and the option is one person lives and one person dies, or two people dies, I think I would choose one person lives. It's a terrible situation and it's a terrible choice. But if you want life, you're going to choose the most life you can get. That's my thought on it.
Wow. 717-889-7181. If anyone has a comment or question, please call in 717-889-7181. Barbara said a woman on Twitter called out a conservative Republican she had an affair with. Her purpose, I suppose, was to show people, let's see if I can read all of this. Was to show people will do anything to protect their domain, in this case, his position in Congress. Oh my goodness.
I think he's the one from Tennessee. There's a story going around about the one from Tennessee that apparently had paid for a mistress to have an abortion and asked his wife or another. Anyways, he's very heavily mixed up in helping women get abortions that he got pregnant, and then is 100% pro-life candidate. So yeah, great human being.
Great human being.
Sounds like
it's going to get dicey. The law is going to get changed. Right now, they just put it out there for the shock and awe. But I believe as it gets, the powers that be gets jammed up, these Republicans, they'll switch around a little bit. They'll switch it around a little bit when they get jammed up with all these secretaries.
yeah, but they can send them somewhere legal to do it.
But what if they don't want to go? I'm telling you, it's going to get dicey. Oh, another call.
Go ahead, caller, you're on the air live. Kenny's Corner with your question and or comment, please.
Kevin Dixon from Harrisburg. I have a question about, I have a statement about what he's talking about tonight.
Please, sir, go ahead.
Hello?
Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. Kenny,
Yes.
how you doing, sir?
How you doing, sir? How you doing there, Kev?
I'm doing good, man. I love what you're doing, man. I love what you're doing.
Thank you, sir.
Now, I'm gonna reverse this thing because I'm the elephant in the room tonight.
Come on, baby.
So, let's keep it real on this abortion thing. I'm gonna get down dirty, and some people gonna get mad. I don't even care. But this is the deal with the abortion. In the state of Texas, the Caucasian is the minority. Afro-Americans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans are the more population. More population. So what they're doing is that they don't understand that the reason why they want to stop abortion is because they want to make sure that the Caucasian persuasion lives on. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
But what they don't understand is that the Caucasian persuasion is having sex with Asians, African Americans, Puerto Ricans, anybody want to have sex with.
Right.
It doesn't really matter. It's not, only thing they're doing is making them go somewhere else. Because if you look at the numbers, Caucasian persuasion females have more abortions than anybody else. Now, on CNN, on ABC, they'll tell you that low-income blacks are the ones that have more abortions. I disagree with that. Okay,
Okay.
I disagree with that. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to make sure that their race lives on. Because as we see right now, that the whites are the minority now. And they're like, yo, we need to figure out a way to keep us around.
I see your point.
Well, I will tell you, I want my kids to blend with somebody else as much as possible, because I don't know if you can see me on the screen, but well, we spend a lot of money on sunscreen. Actually, like taking us to the poorhouse, and I really would like my children to diversify. They've been encouraged.
And that's part of life as we go forward in life, because the thing about it is we can't tell our kids who to love, who to fall in love with. Color shouldn't matter, because when you fall in love, you fall in love.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is the politicians, and that dude Clarence Thomas or Clarence White Thomas, whatever you
I don't know what his
he done lost all his schools. You know I don't even know why he's still on the bench after what he did with Biden and his wife, that whole situation. See, this is what I'm talking about. This, see, it gets deeper than this. But the thing about it is, if we don't get out and vote,
yes,
we will have more problems. People don't understand. I try to explain to young people. I said to him, why do you vote for Obama? Because he's black. Or was he the best candidate? No, I don't care if he was a black candidate or not, but I voted for him. I said, okay, I can't get mad at you about that. Obama got clean slate, and he never cheated, and he never did. He just was a good dude. Didn't do nothing wrong. So Hillary comes along, and Hillary thinks that because of Obama, she was going to just jump right in that slot.
Right.
She didn't do her homework. She didn't do her work. And that's how we ended up with that clown in office. And now we're dealing with that clown another 4 more years, maybe another 6 years. But what we have to do is we have to get out and vote and get these people out of here that think back in the 1960s, 1940s, 1930s. That doesn't apply to now. And that's the problem we're having right now, because people don't want to get, there's people like, my vote don't count. Yeah, your vote does count.
Your vote does count.
It does count. It does count, no matter who you vote for, but it does count.
It does count.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing about this abortion, the elephant is in the room. In Caucasian persuasion, they want to keep them alive. And as time goes by, it's not going to happen, because people are marrying who they want to marry. They don't care what color, don't care what race they are. I'll guarantee you, I don't think there's one. There might be 3% of people in the United States that have all racial marriages that one color. You have Pakistanis who don't believe in marrying out the race, but they are.
But they are.
Because education is showing them that you got to stay in that race to love who you want to love. But
That's right.
That's the elephant in the room.
That's the elephant in the room, baby. Come on now. I appreciate you.
I love what you're doing, boy. You know what I'm saying? And you keep doing what you're doing. And Monday and tomorrow night, I need you to come on, talk about those San Antonio Spurs. Take it right now.
I will.
You're gonna gig on that one. You're gonna gig on that one, right?
I will. I will.
I love you, man.
I love you.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Yes, sir.
And you know, and just for the people that's out there listening to the show, how'd you get started doing this stuff, man?
Kevin, it was actually it was you. It was Sports Talk Radio, hosted by Kevin Dixon, K Dix, and he gave me the opportunity to come on to his show as a guest host, and then he also gave me the opportunity to have my own show called The Elephant in the Room, and the concept of my show is where we talk about nothing but the facts, sort of.
Man, I love you, dude. Keep doing what you're doing, man. And great things coming towards you. And if I pick up the phone and call you and say, Kenny, I got syndicated with what you want to do. I don't want to hear you say, I'm coming along.
I'm on. That's right.
All right.
I'm on.
Get on top of the elephant and let's go for the ride.
Let's go for the ride, baby.
All right, brother. You have a good night, man.
All right now. All right.
84 for life.
That's right. 84 for life.
I believe you got one more caller on the line. Go ahead, caller. We got time for one more question. Go ahead with your comment, please.
Okay, so mine is more or less kind of like a comment. So basically the way I look at everything and, we all don't have the same thought process. So the biggest thing is people need to know politics. They need to know, things that are going on in the realm of life. And I know that doesn't happen for everyone. Everyone doesn't gravitate to, want to know everything that's going on until it happens. And the biggest thing is you would be surprised who don't vote.
Yeah.
Voting matters.
Voting
I
matters.
worked in a realm for the state of Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. So I worked in a realm of everything was political. So basically, people gotta pay more attention to stuff. Don't wait until we're in the middle of a pandemic. Don't wait until there's extreme crisis that's going on, like even if it's something that doesn't, gravitate to something that you are interested in, most things that we hear of or we deal with, it affects everyone. But this thing is bigger than, just listening to it, people whining and complaining.
That's right.
I don't know, it's really sad to give it is. I'm a person that's very vocal. So I'm going to stand up for what I believe, and I don't really work with a bunch of people as far as like, oh, let's get together and do this. I'm a background person. I like to get stuff done. I don't want to be whining, complaining about stuff. I like to move forward.
Amen.
And if I could gravitate towards more people that in that realm, I'm good because, and I'm very optimistic. You know what I mean? So this thing right here, people got to get out and vote, and they got to pay a little bit more attention to the details of a lot of things. And voting does matter.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does. What is your name?
Oh, I'm sorry. This is Monique. I didn't even introduce myself. I just went in.
That's right. Okay, Monique. Listen, I want to talk to you anyway later on, girl, because I like what you just said.
Yeah.
Monique Ryan.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right.
Monique
You know
Ryan.
what, girl?
He's still on the phone.
Hi, everybody. But yeah, I like to as well say, Kenny, this is an absolutely amazing thing that you're doing. I catch it and I share it. I may not be able to sit in on it all the time, but I'm gonna try to set some time aside to, be a little bit more engaged. So I just appreciate everything we're doing.
Amen.
Thanks,
Amen.
Tab.
Amen. Well, tomorrow, it'll be on YouTube tomorrow. Just like and share, like and share, like and share, like and share.
Absolutely.
We're just trying to take it over, take over the world.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it though.
All
And
right
thank you,
now.
young ladies, for coming in
Oh,
and
no
giving your
problem.
information as well. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you guys. But time is up.
All right. Have a great evening, everyone.
Thanks for
All
calling.
right. Thank you.
Already? It was too fast.
No. All right, guys. We're wrapping it up. And we rocking and rolling. Like I always say, I can't control what happens on the corners of Washington, D.C., New York, or Baltimore, but I can always control what happens right here on Kenny's Corner. Good job.
Yeah. I hope people enjoy that.
Good job.
I would like to only be referred to as the Caucasian person.